Super Bowl 41.
Manning looks, throws one deep. Touchdown!
Peyton Manning and the Colts became world champions.
Colts win Super Bowl 41.
Now, a new season filled with questions that will soon be answered. Football is back.
Larry Johnson with the triangle. Badoo! Touchdown!
Young 10, young 5.
Lights out. He's got it. Touchdown. Down he goes.
He's got it. Touchdown!
That should do it. 10-5. Touchdown! Diving into the end zone. Tom Brady.
This is the NFL Today.
No one is more revered in Washington Redskins history than Joe Gibbs, a three-time Super Bowl champ and a Hall of Famer. He begins his 16th season as an NFL head coach. His opposite number has had plenty of success as an assistant, but today, Cam Cameron makes his debut as a head coach for the Dolphins. Experience the NFL on CBS, brought to you in high definition by Sony. Our kickoff from FedEx Field is next.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Jason Taylor, what a play for Ronnie Brown. Straight ahead. He's going to go. Clinton all the way. Sean Taylor still on his feet.
Welcome back to FedEx Field on an absolutely gorgeous day to begin the NFL season. The Washington Redskins and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins have won the coin toss, and they will receive. Number 6 is Sean Sweezum, the kicker for the Washington Redskins. He'll be kicking away to Jesse Chapman, number 28, and number 1 draft pick Ted Ginn Jr., number 19, and we're underway at FedEx Field. This is Ted Ginn Jr. from the 7. Tripped up as he crossed the 15-yard line out to the 17. Well, after stops in San Diego, Washington, St. Louis, and Kansas City, Trent Green makes his first start for the Miami Dolphins. The offensive line is a work in progress in Miami. Shifting positions, new faces, the newest, Samson Satele, the rookie center from Hawaii. The backs and receivers include running back Ronnie Brown, a college roommate of Redskins quarterback Jason Campbell at Auburn.
Everybody in this stadium is on their feet.
Two tight ends to open. Trent Green going to throw, batted up in the air and falls incomplete. Let's take a look at the Washington front four on defense. 12th-year defensive end Philip Daniels got a hand on that pass. The most veteran, joined by Griffin, Montgomery, and Carter. The linebacking core got an off-season boost with the signing of free agent middle linebacker London Fletcher. The secondary starts 4 first-round draft picks, and keep an eye on rookie LaRon Landry. Everybody says he's going to be a star.
Greg, will you listen to this crowd? The largest stadium in the league.
Green to throw again. Pulls it down, starts to run, now gets rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Marty Booker, number 86, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
And talking to Trent Green yesterday, having played here, he knows how loud this stadium can be. He knows how passionate these Redskins fans are. They're totally prepared to run a completely silent offense today. They can run it all off hand signals, even though it's a new offense that Cameron brought. They've got the ability to run it silently, and they're going to be tested right here.
Fans are still on their feet on 3rd and 10. Little flip is going to go nowhere. Maybe for a yard. Ronnie Brown is hit by Marcus Washington, and the punting unit will come on.
Well, how sweet is it to have a 3-and-out for this really proud defensive unit of the Redskins that slipped all the way to 31st in the NFL last year. Greg Williams could not have been any happier with a series than that.
The rookie Brandon Fields will kick it away to Antoine Randall L. Drive and off to the right on one hop. Randall L. fields it at the 36-yard line and doesn't bring it back much further than that, maybe out to the 37.5. Well, there is Jason Campbell, the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. He beat out veterans Mark Brunell and Todd Collins for the starting job. He was the first-round pick back in '05. The offensive line is big and talented, and just last week added the veteran left guard, Pete Kendall. Among the backs and receivers, all eyes on running back Clinton Portis. His season cut short by injury last year. He says tendonitis in his knee from training camp this year is all cleared up. Portis. And Portis bouncing off a couple of tacklers and out across the 40-yard line. Let's check the Miami 4-3 defense. It is led by Defensive Player of the Year Jason Taylor, a 5-time Pro Bowler, including the last 3. Linebacking core, fiery linebacker Joey Porter joins the defense after 8 strong seasons in Pittsburgh. And in the secondary, cornerback Travis Daniels missed significant time last year with an ankle injury. He's back and teams Will Allen on the corners. Portis and Sellers in the backfield on 2nd and 6. Portis again. Across the 45 and very close to a first down. He may have it by about half a yard.
A lot of talk here in Washington about Joe Gibbs holding Clinton Portis out the entire preseason. These are his first carries since last year, and look how he broke tackles after contact. Look at him fight forward for another 2 or 3 yards.
Dan, the first thing you asked him is, how about not going at all in the preseason? He said to me, going into the season fresh is the way to go.
And he also goes, I don't think the game has changed a whole lot from last year. I think it's still football.
Campbell to throw. With time. Over the middle, intercepted. Ronaldo Hill has the football across the 45 to the 40 and down to the 38-yard line.
Ronaldo Hill just playing center field from the safety position. Jason Campbell did not see him or didn't think he could react quickly enough, and a mistake on the first drive for the young Redskins QB.
Although the Miami Dolphins had the 4th best defense in the league last year, interceptions were not a strong point. The 2nd fewest in the league, only Washington was worse. But Ronaldo Hill gets them off on the good foot here in the first quarter. Brown and Malia in the backfield. Terrific field position for Trent Green. Ronnie Brown inside the 35 to the 30-yard line, and we have a flag on the far side of the field. Our referee today is Gene Steratore.
The legal formation. Offense. Number 84 had covered the tackle, did not reset. It will be a 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Let's go back and look at the interception. Here's Ronaldo Hill right here at the safety position, trying to throw the ball here to Cooley, who I think he's expecting to break in front of Hill, but Hill makes the break on Cooley and gets in front of him. I don't know if Jason Campbell thought that that was going to be a flatter route by his tight end, Chris Cooley. Either way, Ronaldo Hill could hardly believe his eyes, that football sailing right to him.
Meanwhile, backed up 5 yards. It's now 1st and 15 for the Dolphin offense. Ronnie Brown once again. And hardly anything there at all. Just inside the 45-yard line. If you were watching the NFL today, Dan showed you Reagan Mawia, the fullback, the rookie out of Hawaii, and a monster of a fullback at that, running through a wall.
Literally. Running through a wall. Mawia is a dainty 270-pound fullback, and of course that's what Ronnie Brown wants. He wants a big guy clearing the way. Single back set here, though.
The rookie Ted Ginn Jr. is into the wide receiver on 2nd and 15. Green goes down at midfield. Andre Carter with the sack.
Well, we talked early on about this Dolphins offensive line. Vernon Carey moved over to left tackle, and he gives a really soft edge to Andre Carter. When you're used to playing tackle on one side of the field, all of a sudden you move to the other side. What might feel like a good block, what might feel like plenty of clearance between you and the quarterback, obviously is not.
On 3rd down, Green into the flat. And that's complete to David Martin, the tight end. He'll come up well short of 1st down yardage. And the Washington defense comes up strong.
And you hear the crowd reaction. That's Fred Smoot, the defensive back, and that's, don't confuse that for booze. That's Smoot that they're hearing.
Do that again.
No, that's it.
Oh,
I can't even believe I did that.
One a game.
One a year. A disappointing waste of field position if you're Miami, and a great defensive stand if you're Washington.
Once again, Brandon Fields will kick it away. Randall L. standing inside his 10. This one will bounce inside the 10 and come to rest at about the 6. Good job by the rookie punter, Brandon Fields, out of Michigan State. We're scoreless in the 1st quarter. Just under 10 minutes to play in a scoreless 1st quarter. Not the kind of thing that Cam Cameron, who has carved his reputation on offense, had in mind. Miami has run 6 offensive plays for a total of 2 yards. This is Portis. And Portis out to the 10-yard line. We want to remind you it's not too late to run your fantasy league with Fantasy Football Commissioner, the award-winning league manager from CBSSports.com. Try it now free for 14 days at football.cbssports.com. There is the venerable Joe Gibbs. Two tours of duty as the head man here in Washington.
Lucky.
The pitch is for Portis. And Portis is hitting the backfield. Joey Porter making his presence felt.
Well, Chris Cooley, the tight end, trying to handle Joey Porter, and it's not happening. Portis didn't have a chance. Take a look at the right side. Cooley trying to block Joey Porter, pin him, and he got away to the inside. And Clinton Portis tries to make a cut, and Joey Porter, good position, squared up, shoulders perpendicular.
One of those Portis sneaks.
Yeah. And again, Joey Porter not having any snaps in the preseason either.
Campbell going to throw, and that's incomplete as his receiver, Santana Moss, slipped and fell at about the 15-yard line. So once again, barring something unusual, the Miami Dolphins should come out of this with pretty good field position.
And I'm not surprised by this kind of, unorthodox, sloppy-looking start by both teams offensively. that last year, that fall by the Redskins defense, I think an aberration. Two strong defensive teams.
What a kick by Derek Frost. Here is Ted Ginn Jr. back to the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. And we have a penalty marker on the field. Derek Frost is coming back out onto the field. Let's see what Gene Steratore has to say. He's pointing back at the other end of the field, which means we'll do this again.
Prior to the kick, holding number 44 of the kicking team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Retry, 4th down.
That nullifies a 64-yard punt by Derek Frost. So we'll do it again, and Ted Ginn Jr. will again be on the receiving end. There's the youngster about whom there was much said in Miami.
Would you like to tell everybody who got that holding call, Greg? Seeing there is no 44 on the Redskins roster, I thought maybe you might know something that I don't.
Dan Deerdorf, the guilty party. There's Ted Ginn Jr. And, you know, Cam Cameron likes him. He likes him now. He likes his future. He said, do you envision Ted Ginn Jr. as an every down receiver at some point? He said, absolutely.
Well, a lot of folks in South Florida were envisioning Brady Quinn as being the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
There's a correction on the penalty. The foul is on number 44 during the kick of the return team. The penalty will be 10 yards, assessed at the end of the kick. First down, Miami.
Well, there's a bit of a turnaround.
That was on Cameron Worrell of the Dolphins. So we won't re-kick. We will take a timeout. Went right out the window. The Dolphins will start this drive from their own 18-yard line. And the offense that Cam Cameron has been brought to Miami for.
Right. And Fred Smoot is playing left corner instead of Sean Spring.
Green going to give it to Ronnie Brown, and Brown just across the 20-yard line. London Fletcher making the stop.
Well, take a good look at what was going on with the Miami offense last year. Look at their rankings there on the right. When they're all in the 20s, the only good thing you can say is there aren't any that are in the 30s. But that is why they went in an offensive direction when they were looking for a new head coach. And after 5 years of running that extremely successful offense in San Diego, Cameron got the nod. Cam was a finalist for the Rams job the year before. He was due to become a head coach.
Green going to throw far side, complete. That'll be enough for a first down out to about the 34-yard line to Chris Chambers.
Boy, did Chambers sell Fred Smoot that he was going deep. Take a look at this right there. Look at Smoot keep going. That was an outstanding move by Chris Chambers. He sells the fly pattern. Smoot is all over it. Now that is what's known, folks, as creating a little separation.
Miami chalks up its first down of the day, coming up on 7 minutes to play in the first. And on the end around, this is Ted Ginn Jr. And he's knocked out of bounds across the 40 out at about the 41-yard line.
And a lot like a guy like Reggie Bush, you've got to be creative in trying to find different ways to get Ted Ginn the ball in the open field. This time it's an end around. You want him to be able to take advantage. He puts on a juke right here at the end. A lot of shoulder shaking, a lot of hip moving. Guess what? It doesn't work. LaRon Landry was having none of it.
Now Ronnie Brown joined in the backfield by Jesse Chapman on 2nd and 3. First back through is Brown. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
And again, it's going to be a real as Cam Cameron said, it's going to be a work in progress, referring to this offense, and he knows a lot of it's going to be because of his offensive line.
You know, Dan, having an offensive guy in charge of these Miami Dolphins is a new experience for them.
Oh, it really is. There's been a long line of defensive-oriented head coaches.
Third and 2. 3 receivers to Green's right. Penalty marker flies. It looked like some movement on the offensive line.
I was just going to say, at least they get a 3rd and short.
False start. Offense.
Briefly.
Number 72.
Vernon Carey.
5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So look now to 3rd and 7.
Well, it's opening day for these guys, too. I know they played 4 preseason games, but that's really, you can't compare the two. You're playing, but you're not at this emotional level you are for the regular season. Nerves are raw, and they are on edge.
And we get a whistle and a flag. And another false start.
False start. Offense. Number 76.
This time,
penalty.
it's the left guard, Chris Lewinsky.
And give an assist to this crowd, which I'm sure they'll get really quiet now and try to be hospitable. I'm sure they won't get even louder now.
It's gone from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 12 in a hurry.
And it's gone from loud to louder to now really loud.
Chambers to the near side. Green steps up, throws. That's the tight end, Justin Peel. And Peel short of a 1st down.
Well, Fred Smoot has had a busy 1st quarter so far. They've been going to his side of the field, and there comes Smoot, number 27. He's going to go low on the bigger man. He gets down below. Sean Springs cleans up from the inside, and a good double-team tackle as Justin Peel gets hit and hit hard. And Smoot looks like he's having his right arm looked at by the Redskins training staff.
The 7th round draft pick out of Michigan State, Brandon Fields, ready to kick it away again to Antoine Randall. This is the kick. Randall at the 12. Dancing his way out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Jason Campbell and company will get started. He's been picked already today. Now the crowd looking to him to put points on the board. We're scoreless. 3:56 to play in the 1st.
Hi. Game time. Giants. Good to see you. Hey, sweetie. Mwah. Fabulous. Sheila.
Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf back at FedEx Field, where we are scoreless, and the Redskins take over their own 20-yard line. Miami with 27 passing yards, Washington with none. 13 rushing yards for the Redskins. They belong to Clinton Portis, but Liddell Betts is now in the backfield. He gets the handoff left side and out to the 25-yard line. Lakeith Traylor makes the stop. Liddell Betts was their savior when Clinton Portis went down last year.
And to the tune of 1,154 yards last year. So it is a real luxury. And let's face it, in this day and age, a long season, 16 games, you need 2 really good running backs. And the Redskins have that. They have that part of their team filled and filled well with Clinton Portis and Liddell Betts.
Mike Sellers is the fullback in front of Betts in the backfield on 2nd and 4. And this is Betts again. Across the 25 to the 27 and a half, where Crowder and Zach Thomas And you talk about a name year after year after year on that Miami defense.
Well, 7 times a Pro Bowler. Zach Thomas just turned 34 earlier this week. And I said, Zach, you know, have you read some of the magazines about you don't cover as much ground as you used to? He said, yeah, I read it. Take a look at that combination over the last years by teammates. Last year, 269 between the two of them, Channing Crowder.
3rd and 3. Campbell gonna throw deep for it. That was complete to Antoine Randall L down the sideline for a first down. And that pass was right on the money.
And there is a good illustration of why the Redskins love Jason Campbell. What an arm. This is not a 5-yard out pattern. Right over the outside shoulder, beautifully thrown right onto the hands of Antoine Randall L. And Travis Daniels, his coverage wasn't that bad, but Randall L had him by a step and the ball was perfect.
35-yard pass, first down Washington at the Miami 38. This is Betts. Inside the 35 to the 33.
And with that one pass, all of a sudden now, a big shift in field position. A lot of this game was being played in the Redskins end of the field, and now they're going to give it a whirl on Miami's side of the 50-yard line. And in a game like this that figures out to be a lot of defense, field position is going to be very big.
Pick up a 5 on the play on 2nd and 5. First back through is Mike Sellers. A bull of a fullback. We have our first NFL Today update of the day. JB in New York.
Greg and Dan, take a look here how Green Bay got on the scoreboard here on this muffed punt by Eagles returner Greg Lewis. The ball is batted and kicked around all the way to the end zone. Ultimately, it's Tracy White recovering for Green Bay. They also have a 53-yard field goal. 10-0 Green Bay, all the points off of turnovers. Greg and Dan.
All right, JB, to fair catch or not fair catch, always an interesting prospect at the beginning of the season. Campbell sneaking for the first down. Let's see where they spot it.
Well, Jason Campbell, hardly a waif-like quarterback, so don't be afraid to let him get in behind Randy Thomas and Pete Kendall and his center Casey Robach and go at it.
One of the more entertaining stories around this Redskin team regards Jason Campbell, whose roots are in Taylorville, Mississippi, and some of the players complaining they couldn't quite understand what he was saying in the huddle.
Yeah, he's taken exception to it, especially Antoine Randall L. He says Randall L just has small ears. He can't hear him.
That's the first down.
Although what's interesting, Ronnie Brown, the primary back for the Miami Dolphins, and Jason Campbell were roommates together at Auburn University. They lived together their junior and senior year, and we asked Ronnie Brown about it. He said, yeah, he goes into Taylorville talk every now and then.
He can get excited.
These two, just the best of friends on opposite sidelines today.
First down at the Miami 28. Betts and Sellers still in the Washington backfield. Once again, it's Liddell Betts, left side, this time hit right down the line of scrimmage by Chase Page, number 95. And with the last 10 seconds of the quarter winding down, teams will take a walk to the other end. We have come to the end of the first quarter. Miami and Washington scoreless. And we'll come back to FedEx Field right after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
NFL on CBS.
Back at FedEx Field for the start of the second quarter. The Redskins at the Miami 27-yard line. Liddell Betts still in the backfield, 2nd and 9. And it's Betts. inside the 25 to the 24. But one of the things Cam Cameron said to us about his defense, he said, you ask him what surprised him about his team so far. He goes, you know what? I love Keith Traylor and I love Vonnie Holliday.
Yeah, just a couple of guys, I guess he didn't realize their leadership capabilities. Of course, Keith Traylor, he's only 37 years old. And Vonnie Holliday, he's no kid either. He's 31. And these guys still at that age practice hard every day and produce at a high level. Coaches love that stuff.
3rd and 5. Shovel pass. Betts, first down and more to the 10. Inside the 10 to the 7, and a 1st and goal for the Washington Redskins.
Oh, they hit that right. Zach Thomas blitzes from the other side of the formation. Thomas and Jeremiah Bell both come from the backside, and they have a play called away from it, and a huge gaping hole in the Miami defense. There comes Pete Kendall around the corner. A good lead block by Randy Thomas there on the left. And Liddell Betts, that must have looked like the way they run it in practice at Redskin Park. Nobody out in front of him.
1st and goal now. Betts, left side. Spinning to the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Boy, it is so nice and such a luxury when you've got two backs like Portis and Betts. Clinton Portis over on the sideline. Now they're going to exchange. Here comes Portis into the game. Betts to the sideline. Stay fresh. You're still trying to get your football legs under you with the regular season speed.
That's how the Redskins fared a season ago in goal-to-go situations. Portis, right side. And met at the 5. That'll be no gain. Matt Roth, number 98, the first to make contact. Matt Roth in his first starting role. This is his 3rd season out of University of Iowa.
And now this becomes a passing down on 3rd and goal from the 5. It's not that you're not allowed to run, but if they did run, it would certainly it would surprise the Dolphins.
This is the 12th play of this 75-yard drive. Campbell down at the 14. Redskins want a penalty marker, and there is none that I can see.
Well, there was
we have an injury on the field. That looks like John Jansen, the right tackle. And he's in agony.
Jason Taylor at the bottom of your screen got a great jump. Oh. And Zach Thomas rolls right up the back of the legs of John Jansen.
Tighten the pocket. Be on time. Is he blitzing?
3 seconds until sack.
Work your eyes to the left. Stare down that safety. Off the mic. What's the corner doing?
2 seconds until sack.
We need this one.
Looking for Harrison. Harrison's completely covered.
1 second until sack.
Who's breaking free? Who's breaking high? Who's behind?
As soon as Manning thinks it, then you see it. Highlights, updates, and scores at the speed of light. This is the NFL. It's good.
Out on the field, they are about to roll John Jansen off to medical services.
It is where you are most vulnerable as an offensive lineman. You're engaged blocking someone else in an unrelated party. There, watch Zach Thomas comes across right there. He's going to fall into the back of the legs of John Jansen, who's busy blocking Matt Roth, and he's completely vulnerable, has no chance to protect himself. Remember, John Jansen tore his Achilles back at the very beginning of the 04 season.
Missed all of that season, came back to play the entire season the next year.
And he is a huge part of not only this Redskin offensive line, but of their team as well. A real leader in his 8th year out of Michigan, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
This will be a 31-yard field goal attempt by Sean Sweezen. And the kick is on its way, and it is good. 12-14 of the second quarter. The Redskins are on the board with a 3-0 lead. We remind you, you can check out the all-new Game Center on NFL.com. It's your one-stop source for live game play-by-play, stats, video highlights, photos, and more, and it's all at NFL.com. The word we get from the Washington Redskins is that John Jansen has suffered a dislocated right ankle.
That is really a bad set of circumstances.
Swings him with the kick. This is Ted Ginn Jr. from the 1. 20. To about the 27-yard line.
Well, as I mentioned, that Redskin offensive line has been one of the real rocks of this team. You see, they only gave up 19 sacks last year, third fewest in the league, and they got better with the addition of Pete Kendall, a real veteran guy there at the left guard position. But now they're going to have to scramble. And as you can see, the 4 remaining Samuels, Robach, Thomas, and Jansen all started the entire season last year. Well, Joe Bugle there talking to his guys. He's going to have to get creative now.
Jesse Chapman is in the backfield, and Chapman takes the pitch and picks his way out to the 30-yard line and a little bit beyond.
Well, Cam Cameron and Trent Green are going to have to start maybe thinking about working the left side of the field, because they have been going exclusively to the right side in their passing game. Every time Trent Green has gone back to throw, he's thrown a relatively short pass to the right side of the football field.
You know, I imagine they'll take offense anywhere they can get it. Their first 3 drives, they punted 3 times. They had 1 first down and had a grand total of 37 yards. Green throws to his left.
There you go.
That's complete to Marty Booker, and that's enough for a first down for the Dolphins. Yours is a far-reaching voice, Mr. Deerdorf.
Well, I know that some of those were his second and third checkdowns. So, the play wasn't maybe intended to go to the right, but that's just the place that Trent Green found his outlet. But balance is king in this league. You can't just find yourself working one part of the field. You got to spread it.
Chapman still in the backfield. The fake to him. Green throws that side again and completes it once again to Marty Booker. In talking with Trent Green last night, he's a proud young man, and he won't say that he's out to prove everybody wrong about him who may think that he is finished as a quarterback, but he'd sure like to.
Well, I know one thing. You're going to get a Christmas card for calling him a young man. At 37, I'll guarantee you nobody said that to him in a while.
It's a comparative thing, man.
But you're right. You couldn't be more right, Greg. He's got a few naysayers out there that he would like to prove wrong.
On 2nd and 2, Ronnie Brown and Chapman in the backfield. The first back through is Brown, trying to pick his way for a first down, and he appears to have it at midfield.
Well, that was a hard-fought piece of real estate to move the chains for the Dolphins. The Redskins gave that up very grudgingly.
And Dan, you talked about it earlier. For some reason or other, there's this perception that Trent Green is a fragile quarterback.
Because, he had the injury in St. Louis, and then he had the injury last year. He put together 5 full seasons of every game.
Green stepping up. Little pitch is complete across midfield. Loose football, and who comes up with it? Looks like the Redskins.
Oh, I think Sean Springs might have slid right in there. Reagan Mauia, the fullback, was prone on the ground, and he tried to pull the ball in, but he couldn't get to it before Sean Springs.
This Washington Redskins team didn't have many takeaways last year, fewest in the NFL, fewest in history, with 12 all told.
In a 16-game season, you're right, the fewest ever.
On first down, Campbell. Pitch to the 35. The ball is loose, but it's whistled down. Antoine Randall. Let's go back to the turnover.
Here's the fumble. Washington is in there, and there comes the big hit by McIntosh that knocks the ball away from Chad. Now right here, look at this. Mauia's got his hands on it. Oh, he just slides right by it, and Sean Springs comes in there. Reagan Mauia, kind of hard to stop that 270 pounds when it's got a little momentum moving one direction. Just slid right by it.
On first down, Portis. And Portis to the 35. Clock continues to move as we come up on 9 minutes to play in the first half of a low-scoring game so far. The Redskins with a field goal with a 3-0 lead.
Marcus Washington had his hand in there. Rocky McIntosh, the two linebackers. That was a big-time hit that they put on Jesse Chapman.
Jesse Chapman provided a lot of excitement in the preseason for this Miami Dolphin team.
Sure did.
Fakes to the one side and runs out of time and goes down courtesy of Jason Taylor.
Well, Jason Taylor gets to add one to the old statistical sheet, but let's be realistic. Jason Campbell was standing back there a long time and just couldn't find anybody open. All right, first of all, he gets around the cut block of Chris Samuels. And by that time, it's apparent that Jason Campbell couldn't find anybody. He was trying to run to his left side, and Jason Taylor goes, well, lucky me. Here he comes right to me.
That 107 career sacks is #1 all-time in Miami Dolphins history. And it's 3rd and 14. Campbell stepping up, throwing, overthrows his intended receiver, Santana Moss.
Oh, and boy, there was a screw-up in the Dolphins secondary. Santana Moss was left alone, and Jason Campbell can't hit him. That was as routine gets. There's a mess up between the corner and the safety. They turn Santana Moss loose, and he is wide open. Yes, that hurts.
So Ted Ginn Jr. back at his own 10-yard line as Derek Frost will try to put this one down somewhere close to the goal line. Ginn will let it go, and this one will bounce at the 1 and into and through the end zone for a touchback. 7:50 to play in the second quarter. Once again, Miami on offense and down just 3.
The SEC on CBS kicks off with one of the biggest games of the year. Tennessee gets their one shot at the national champs, Florida, next Saturday on CBS.
A reminder, the Sprint halftime report comes your way, strangely enough, at halftime. JB, Dan Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher have scores, highlights, and a preview of the U.S. Open Men's Championship. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. The pass out here in the flat to Chapman is incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, that's a 2-receiver pattern by the Dolphins, well covered by the Redskins. And again, Trent Green left with nothing to do but check it down. And even after he makes the decision to check it down, this ball floats on him a little bit. Got to put that more in between the numbers. That could have been caught, but that's not where Trent Green wanted to deliver it.
Second and 10, and the give is to Chapman. Nice spin out of the backfield to about the 22.5 or 23-yard line.
You know, it's fun to watch a guy demonstrate his ability to run the football by doing pirouettes and spins, but it's not a good thing when you're having to do it 2 yards in your own backfield. A lot of Redskin penetration there, and Jesse Chapman's having to get away, and that's get away too quick from Anthony Montgomery, who did a good job of really ruining that run at the point of attack.
The Miami Dolphins are 0 for on 3rd down, 0 for 3.
They're going to have to try to stretch the field a little bit.
Green with good time over the middle and wide open out across the 40 to the 45 is Jesse Chapman, who holds on this time, and it's a 1st down for the Dolphins.
Well, that time the Redskins fake all-out blitz. They've got everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and then they bail back. And what happens is the linebackers aren't able to get back into the hook zones. You can see Rocky McIntosh, who was up on the line of scrimmage faking the blitz, could not get deep enough. And in front of the safeties, Trent Green found his guy.
1st down, a little room to operate. Jesse Chapman off the left side, spinning again for about a yard. It was interesting to talk with Trent Green about the arrival of Cam Cameron, and he says he's got one of those offensive minds that you just love to watch at work. He said he can tweak an offense and make good people better.
Well, you know, he said something that sounds so simple. He said he doesn't have a plan. And even Cam admits it. He said, I don't get paid to be innovative. I get paid to win. And I'll call something that works. And if it works, guess what? I'm going to call it again. It doesn't have to be imaginative. I'll just call the same play over and over if we keep making it work.
Green, straight drop. Going to go deep. Chamber diving and can't get it at the 15.
Even though that was an incomplete pass to Chris Chambers, I think that was long overdue from the Dolphins offense. You can't play this game within 10 or 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. Every now and then, you have got to stretch the field and take a shot. That was close to being a big play. He's beyond Smoot, and right there is Sean Taylor, but if that pass would have been perfect, that would have been a completion.
Instead, it's 3rd and 9.
Nothing new to watch Sean Taylor fly through a shot like that, is it? He can be a missile.
Redskin fans to their feet. And a timeout is called. Trent Green burns the first timeout for the Miami Dolphins. 5:43 to play in the second quarter. 5:43 to play. And, you know, Dan, you say stretch the field, and Trent Green says, yes, sir.
This is a little longer conversion that they'd like.
Green on the roll, over the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Marty Booker. That should have been a completion. Instead, it'll be a punt situation.
No, in tight games like this, especially on the road, you need your veteran guys to come through for you. Trent came through and delivering a perfect pass to Marty Booker. And a veteran receiver like Booker, he's killing himself back over on the sideline because he knows he's the reason they didn't move the chains, and that's a heavy load. You got to catch it.
For the 4th time today, Brandon Fields will punt it away. Antoine Randall L. is deep for the Redskins. That's a horrible kick. Ground ball to first. And out of bounds. Now Brandon's going to go back and think about that one. 30-yard punt. In the backfield as Jason Campbell goes to work on offense, fakes the backs all kinds of time, and now throws it away. Trying to set up the screen, and the Dolphin defense just wouldn't give it away.
Again, this game is going to be a game of field position and a game of mistakes. And I would suspect that this is going to be called pretty close to the vest. Al Saunders working it for the Redskins. I think he's trying to work Jason Campbell through he threw a bad interception to get this game started. I'm sure he's just trying to ease him into this thing.
Portis has replaced Betts in the backfield. And that almost came loose. Portis grabbed hold of it. And how about this 26?
Oh, no, that ball did come loose. That bounced right off of Clinton Portis' hands. And luckily, it bounced right back. I don't know if it bounced off of one of his own guys or what. There goes the ball. And luckily, it came right back into the hands of Clinton Portis.
And a pickup of 2 makes it 3rd and 8. Clinton Portis 7 carries for 17 yards so far. Out of the shotgun, Campbell. With time, over the middle, has his man, and incomplete. Santana Moss had it and dropped it, and Michael Lehan was on him all the way.
Well, that is not the fault of Jason Campbell. First of all, he got really good protection from the guys up front. He's going to get a chance to look down the middle of the field and really step into this ball. Take a look at that protection. And he puts it right there.
And Jason Taylor is still down on the field for Miami.
I know Jason Campbell, if he had it over, would put that ball maybe just a foot or two more in front of Santana Moss. but that ball was very catchable and should have been caught.
Santana was telling us yesterday that, or Friday, that when the ball is in the air, he finds an extra gear.
Yes, he does, and he maybe should have downshifted and found an extra hand. It's funny, both of these last two possessions end on drop passes by veteran receivers. Booker for the Dolphins and then Moss for the Redskins.
You see some of the accomplishments Ted Ginn Jr. had at Ohio State. He stands back at 25. And this is Ginn Jr. from the 30. Dodges a couple of tacklers, not all of them, and he comes to rest at about the 37-yard line.
Well, the guys from Auburn have been putting the ball in the hands of the other team. There was the interception that Jason Campbell threw when he tossed it to Ronaldo Hill to get this game started. And then Ronnie Brown, he's got the ball. That's Jesse Chapman, rather. Jesse Chapman fumbles it away after that short pass. And Ronnie Brown had a fumble as well. So it's it has been a slow start, a little sloppy. And Washington clings to this 3-0 lead.
Sure, Jason Campbell and Ronnie Brown didn't appreciate the way that Auburn game turned out last night. First down, Miami, their own 38. 4:23 to play in the first half. Trent Green throwing the slant in and out of the hands of Chris Chambers.
Wow, has this football been oiled up or what? All of a sudden, the receivers are starting to act like it's a foreign object. And these are the premier receivers for both teams. That ball just right. You can see that Chris Chambers let the ball get into his body, went right through his hands.
Jason Taylor, we are told, suffering from a quad injury, will probably return. Meanwhile, Brown and Chapman in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Play action. Green over the middle, and a diving catch is made
by Chris Chambers. Well, that's how to make amends. I'm sure he's thinking to himself right now, thank you, Coach, for coming right back with me. Thanks for calling my number. Good protection and a beautiful throw by Trent Green. Right over the hands of Rocky McIntosh, the linebacker, who just couldn't get it. And Miami starting to open it up, at least throwing the ball down the field and not so much dink and dunk.
From the 39, more play fake. Chapman picks up the blitz. The pass is complete to Chambers on the near side.
When all of a sudden they're finding a lot of room beyond the linebackers of Washington and in front of the corners and safeties. I don't know if Cam was setting them up with all the short stuff, but right now they have found a sweet spot about 15 yards down the field, and the Redskins better react.
3:20 to play in the first half. Miami from the Washington 25, pump fake, and now goes for Chambers and overthrows incomplete.
Dead play from the beginning. Cover 2 by the Redskins. Sean Taylor sitting back there. He's all over it. And that was just a throwaway by Trent Green. The minute he sees that coverage, he double pumps, doesn't make any difference. The Redskins safety was sitting and waiting.
Fred Smoot out of the game. Sean Springs in at cornerback on 2nd and 10. The Dolphins enjoying their longest drive of the day, 37 yards. And around, Marty Booker with a blocker in front, inside the 20, and it's another first down for Miami.
Well, and right now, Cam Cameron is calling a really good series. He's got this Redskins defense a little bit unsure of exactly what's coming. You could see them almost sitting on all that short stuff he was calling earlier. The Redskins with 8 and 9 guys up close to the line. Right now, it's the Miami offense that's got it all going on.
This time it's Brown. You know, Cam was telling us yesterday about how he fought Marty Schottenheimer out in San Diego, he wanted to call the plays from field level rather than up in the booth because he says you just get a feel for how things are going.
And he really believes that being on the field, that, you know, he equated it to like fly fishing. He said, why do you work this one part of the screen and then all of a sudden you just flick it over here and there's a fish there? He said, you feel it. He said, I could never, ever see myself calling a game from upstairs ever again.
We've come to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play. Have the Dolphins found the offensive rhythm they've been searching for all day long? 3-0 Redskins. Little evidence of how the Dolphins have improved on this drive. Ronnie Brown, Reagan Mawia in the backfield. Booker in motion to the far side. This is Brown. Not much there at all. A minute 45 to play in the first half.
That's a hard-fought day when you're scratching it out about 1.5 yards at a carry. That's a lot of work for Ronnie Brown for not much in the way of results.
8th play of this drive and a big one for Trent Green. 3rd and 7. Throws the short one. That's complete to Chapman, and Chapman inside the 5 and appears to have enough for a first down.
And Fred Smoot had his helmet knocked completely off. He looks like he's okay, but wow. And the Dolphins getting right up on the ball.
And a timeout is called by the Redskins.
Yeah, smart call there by London Fletcher. They weren't ready.
42 seconds to play in the first half, and Miami knocking on the door. Goal-to-go possessions last year. 12 touchdowns and 25 tries for the Dolphins.
When you're 29th in the NFL, that's why they got an offensive-minded guy as the head coach.
On 1st and goal, the give is to Chapman, and Chapman is hit hard by London Fletcher and Pearson Prelo.
Boy, Prelo really busted through the line of scrimmage. Again, that's an awful lot of penetration at the point of attack. But there comes Prelo right off the corner. He gets right in on the legs of Jesse Chapman.
Chapman and Mawia in the backfield on 2nd and goal. Chapman straight up the middle and hit hard at about the 2. That time it looked like Cornelius Griffin.
I think Jesse Chapman thought he was going to score. Going to take this right off left guard. There's a nice crease in there. And then he is met by McIntosh and he is met by Griffin. Shoulder to shoulder, and they closed that hole off. Snap.
And so the clock is stopped with 4 seconds to play in the first half.
Well, you can't. Obviously, you can't run a play and kick a field goal.
This is an interesting decision for a first-time head coach.
No kidding. No kidding. In a game like this, on the road, pretty tempting to take your field goal and go into the locker room 3-3.
From the 1-yard line, 4 seconds to play. Chapman is the deep back. Ronnie Brown, the short back. Green on the move, end zone, touchdown. Justin Peele, the tight end.
Well, Cam Cameron has served notice. I may be coaching my first game in the National Football League, but I've got some nerve. I have got some nerve. I think the overwhelming majority of coaches would have kicked a field goal there and gone to halftime 3-3. But he puts it in the hand of his veteran quarterback, who puts it in the hand of his backup tight end and comes away with a touchdown.
Dan, you got to figure that sends a message to the player.
You better believe it.
The extra point is good, and as time expires here in the first half, Cam Cameron walks off the field in his debut as a head coach with a 7-3 lead.
And the Redskins defense completely throttles the Dolphins for the entire first half until the last series that ends up being a Miami touchdown.
You know, you're right. I think everybody in the world would have expected a field goal and a 3-3 tie in the locker room. We have come to the end of the first half. There's our score. The Dolphins 7, the Redskins 3. We're coming back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint halftime report. This is the NFL at sprint speed. Sprint ahead.
And welcome back to New York in the Sprint halftime report. I'm James Brown. Let's get you caught up on the scores and highlights around the league, starting first talking about the Jets and the Patriots at the Meadowlands, where the Jets are in play.
Well, here's Randy Moss, his first catch of the year as a New England Patriot. He had 4 in the day already at halftime, 87 yards. Wes Welker also has 4. But how about this play design? Lavernius Cole's out of the backfield, touchdown 7-7, and then right before the half, Tom Brady, look at all the time in the world all day long. I don't think he's been hit yet, guys. Benjamin Watson back at the end zone, 14-7 Patriots at the half.
Well, Dan Marino said Wes Welker will be involved significantly, and he was.
Roscoe punter, and here he is, Roscoe. Pete Roscoe Parrish takes this ball right up the middle, gets to the outside, and the Broncos have no one that can catch him. 74 yards later, he's in the end zone. Here's Jay Cutler, nice skinny post, 21 yards. Javon Walker, 2 Jason Elam field goals, 7-6 at the half.
And we move along to the Kansas City Chiefs and Texans coach.
And first-year starter making a rookie mistake here. You see Matt Schaub down in the red zone, but throws an ill-advised pass for an interception by Kansas City. But he redeemed himself later right here as he drops back right here. You can see right now off the play action, able to run the ball. You get Andre Johnson deep. He takes the ball 77 yards for a touchdown. Been very impressive, not just with their offense, but with their defense and shutting down Larry Johnson and the Chiefs.
And the Texans finished last season splitting the last 8 games. All right, Dan.
And this is what Jack Del Rio wants to see out of his quarterback, David Garrard. Play action down the middle. John Broussard, 47-yard touchdown. Garrard was 7-11, 123 yards. Then Lendell White gets hit. Boom, fumbles. Tennessee turns it over on downs. Jacksonville's playing well.
Gosh, Tennessee with 147 rushing yards. Jacksonville only 6, but Jacksonville's up.
Oh, a lot going on up in Cleveland right here. You can see the first series right here. Hines Ward, great field presence. Always had that in the red zone. And you can see Jamal Lewis right here. Did it in Baltimore, fumbling the ball. Fry sacked 5 times in this game. And you can see on the first play after the fumble, Ben airing it out right here. Santonio Holmes over the talk, 17-0. Fry sacked 5 times. Derek Anderson finished the half as a quarterback. We may even see Brady Quinn in the 4th quarter in this game.
And this is a play right here. Trent Green, play action pass. Justin Peel, 1-yard touchdown, puts Miami up 7-3.
And that is in Landover, where the Skins are hosting the Dolphins. Meanwhile, Eagles and Packers.
Packers punter John Ryan punts this ball to Greg Lewis. It's a little slick. He can't hold on to it. The field's slick. Now the ball's wet. He can't hold on to it, but push it towards the end zone, and maybe we can jump on it later. And that's what they did. 7-0 Packers. They would get a field goal, make it 10-0. It's 10-3 at this point. Donald McNabb, 9 yards. Jason Avant. We got a tie ball game, 10-10.
All right, boys, the Joey Harrington era starts at the Falcons. Does he throw an interception to a defensive back, a linebacker? No, how about a defensive lineman? How about big old Kevin Williams taking off, going all the way, 54-yard interception return for a touchdown. Vikings up 7-0. Now it's Tavarius Jackson. He's going to try to set up the screen to Chester Taylor. He misses it and hurts his hip. But he goes in, and we'll find out for you just how injured he is. 7-0 Vikings at the half.
And Jake Delhomme right here. Bring it on. Jake drops back in the middle, throws it to Drew Carter. Touchdown. Nice pass. That puts Carolina up 7-0. Here comes Mark Bulger back. One of his favorites, Torrey Holt, goes in for a 3-yard touchdown. And there you got it. St. Louis up by 3.
As a matter of fact, Shannon has St. Louis in the Super Bowl. Did he not say that? All right, folks.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. This is the NFL at sprint speed. Sprint ahead.
This is no reality show.
This isn't acting.
This is the absolute genuine article. This is going to change the way fans see the game.
This is business.
This is pleasure. This is Braylon.
This is Bratwurst.
And Bryant, this is what the Colts do best.
This is focused.
This is flawless. This is football.
CBS Sports presents the Sprint Halftime Report. This is the NFL at sprint speed. Sprint ahead.
Touchdown has Trent Green and the Dolphins in control. And we'll come back for the second half kickoff after this message and a word from your local station.
Do you want to play, baby? Come on now.
And we're underway at FedEx Field.
I guess we're gonna pretend. Let's see how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come.
Over the middle, intercepted. Ronaldo Hill has the football. Touchdown! Welcome back to FedEx Field, everyone. Second half about to get underway, and you get to experience the second half here on CBS in high definition. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf. Interesting to see just how much that last play of the first half, the touchdown, will affect these Miami Dolphins in the second half. In the end zone, Rock Cartwright is going to run it out to the 15. Spinning forward to the 20-yard line and just across the 20 to the 21. Let's go back to that play, Dan.
Well, the situation was 3 seconds left in the first half, and what a lot of people thought would just be a simple little field goal to knot this game up at 3-3. Cam Cameron says, hey, I'm going to let my quarterback, Trent Green, make a decision and be sure with the football. He found Justin Peele, and it's a 7-3 Miami lead. And for a guy coaching his inaugural game as a head coach in the pros, remember he was a head coach at Indiana, that's a pretty gutsy call.
Clinton Portis gets the starting nod at running back for the Redskins here in the second half, as he did at the start of the game. This is Portis, right side, in some good running room out to about the 29-yard line. Matt Roth, Zach Thomas making the stop as you look at the numbers. And most of those total yards for the Dolphins coming in the final couple of minutes.
Yeah, so they really only had the one really good drive that culminated in the score. You can see the Dolphins with 4 penalties, none for the Redskins, but less than 100 yards offense for Washington is a real disappointment. They have got to improve upon that if they want to win this game.
Quick pass, quick slant, and that's complete to Santana Moss across the 35 to the 37 and a first down.
Now, one reason that those yardage totals, 150 plus for Miami and less than 100 for Washington. Remember, we had a fair number of drop passes in the first half. We had some pretty good throws by both Campbell and on the other side Trent Green that were dropped by their primary guys. That could have been a lot more offense, and some of those drives could have been sustained and ended up in punts.
New set of downs for the Redskins. And Campbell, deep drop this time. Throws over the middle, and that's in and out of the hands of Moss. Santana was telling us yesterday, I remember you asked him about the strength of Jason Campbell's arm, and he said he has the kind of arm that you just don't ever give up on a pattern.
No, you don't, because he could run one side and throw it to the other. Look at the pocket that Campbell gets right there. That is a quarterback's dream, to be able to step up. Now he throws a high, hard one and a little bit behind Santana Moss, but that's the kind of ball that, you know, help out your team. You got to make the catch. But it was off. It was off by a couple feet.
Odell Betts in the backfield. He gets the handoff, tries the right side, follows his blocking. And that's Channing Crowder coming up and making the stop. We have a penalty marker down.
And the good news for Miami is that Jason Taylor is back at his defensive end position for the Dolphins.
Holding. Offense. Number 45. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
It's Mike Sellers who falls right into this game tradition here of big blocking fullbacks.
If you can imagine a fullback listed at 284 pounds. And you sit down with Joe Gibbs and you ask him about Mike Sellers, and what does he say? He's a man.
From Walla Walla Community College.
Now, when a guy's been around the NFL as long as Joe Gibbs has, and his response is, he's a man, you know you're talking about somebody special.
Second long yardage. Campbell deep down the sideline. Has a man open, and that's caught inside the 30 by Antoine Randall. Again, what a throw by Jason Campbell.
Well, on a scale of 10, that throw was a 10. Absolutely perfect. Campbell did a good job of identifying his single coverage. Where's their one-on-one with no safety? And Rantoine Andolel, he goes and gets a step on Travis Daniels. And a perfectly, absolutely perfectly, a minor adjustment right at the end by Randall, but the football was right on the palms of his hands.
From the 24, this is Clinton Portis. Inside the 20 to the 18. We go to JB in New York.
Hey, Greg and Dan, you both know that on a kickoff, if a receiver's more than 4 yards back in the end zone, you down it, except, as Coach Cowher says, if you can score a touchdown. That's exactly what Ellis Hobbs of the Patriots does. The longest kickoff return for a touchdown in NFL history, 21-7. Patriots back to Greg and Dan.
Thank you, JB. That's what's called your backbreaker.
Yes, it is. How about that? 108.
This is Portis. Portis to the 5. Touchdown.
Whatever Joe Gibbs said at halftime, they were listening. Some real spark from the Washington offense, and all possible because of the big pass from Campbell to Antoine Randall, who gets congratulated by his teammates.
The extra point is up and good. Clinton Portis telling us at the end of the year he wants those feel-good sessions. He wants to be able to put on one of those championship rings. He just put the Redskins on top, 10-7.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
In a quick 3:13, Washington goes 78 yards, and Clinton Portis caps it off with a 19-yard dash to the end zone. (10-7) Washington as they kick it away. Short kick from the 15, Ted Ginn Jr. Trying to break it to the outside, and he can scoop. Turns the corner and out of bounds at midfield. There's your first-round draft choice, paying some early dividends for the Miami Dolphins. 11:40 to play in the third quarter. Clinton Portis dancing it up in the end zone. 11:40 to play in the third quarter. And from their own 49, Trent Green with a drop, throws left side and underthrows his intended receiver, the tight end David Martin. As a reminder, tomorrow CBS Evening News explores a global scam stealing from America's seniors. An investigation takes you inside telemarketing fraud on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric. Second and 10 for Cam Cameron, who the head coach, who calls the plays. On second and 10. Short pop over the middle, and holding on is Ronnie Brown out of the backfield. Let's go back to that touchdown, Dan.
Well, a good block at the point of attack by this guy right here, Chris Samuels. Watch the way he moves out. But watch Zach Thomas, who comes in and I think is screened on this play. I don't think he can see Clinton Porter. Pete Kendall comes out right there. He loses track, doesn't know where Portis is, and then can't get to the hole. But at the point of attack, outstanding job by Chris Samuels, the Pro Bowl left tackle of the Redskins.
3rd and 3. Green on a rollout to the near side. Dodges one, can't dodge them all. He's down in midfield. Rocky McIntosh, the second-year linebacker out of Miami.
That play from the beginning just didn't look like the Dolphins were anywhere near being in sync. And I think Trent Green made a conscious decision. I'm just going to eat the football. I'm not going to make a bad, silly mistake. We'll punt it away.
Randall L. back at his 10. Sails into and through the end zone for a touchback, and with 10:16 to play, Washington will take over with a 3-point lead.
Tight in the pocket, be on time. See blitz?
3 seconds until sack.
Work your eyes to the left. Stare down that safety. Off the mic. What's the corner doing?
2 seconds until sack.
We need this.
Looking for Harrison. Harrison's completely covered.
1 second until sack.
Breaking 3. Who's breaking high? Who's my high?
As soon as Manning thinks it, then you see it. Highlights, updates, and scores at the speed of light. This is the NFL at sprint speed.
74 is Stephon Heyer, rookie free agent out of nearby University of Maryland, undrafted. He's taken over at right tackle in the first half. John Jansen lost to the Redskins with a dislocated right ankle, and will start on the ground, and many a flag is on the ground. Liddell Betts carrying, and let's see what the call is.
Well, the good news, this is going to be holding against Washington, but Heyer got to play the whole preseason because Chris Samuels didn't.
Number 61, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Casey Robach, the center, is the guilty party.
But Stephon Heyer got to play the entire preseason in place of Chris Samuels, so he did get a lot of experience for a rookie. And of course, he didn't have to come very far, just from College Park. It's a short little trip to Redskins Park.
Are you convinced preseason is necessary for everybody then?
Yeah, it's necessary for everybody, but it's certainly, doesn't. I don't think you need 4.
Liddell Betts trying to circle the left side and doesn't make it. Keith Traylor and Ronaldo Hill combine to stop him turning the corner.
A preseason is always a juggling act, trying to balance the need for work against having a guy who's extremely critical to your team and who might be a little bit nicked. And what do I have to gain by playing him in a game that does not count in the standings?
Well, that's why I say for a lot of people, sure, they absolutely need it. But at LT, for instance?
No, but I'll guarantee you the preseason was the greatest thing in the world for Stephon Heyer.
Sure. Campbell, the throw. Running out of time. Pulls it down, and he goes down at about the 18. Matt Roth with the stop on Jason Campbell.
Speaking of Heyer, let's go ahead and watch him work. Who's he get to go against? How about the reigning defensive MVP? And that time, Jason Taylor gets underneath the rookie and runs him back into the quarterback. He's too high. He's too high, and Jason Taylor able to get underneath and collapse that pocket. Taylor almost snatched the face mask of Jason Campbell. He actually tried for it and didn't get it.
And now from the shotgun, 3rd and 17, Campbell. With a lot of time, still moving, and throws it away.
Smart play. There's an old adage for a quarterback that any drive that you are running that ends in a kick isn't really a bad thing. Which means even if you have to punt, it's not the end of the world. It's when there's a turnover that a drive really goes to pieces.
Whose adage was that?
I don't know. I didn't think of it, but it's true. Let your defense play.
Ted Ginn Jr. a couple of yards shy of midfield. Trying to spin. We have a marker down back inside the 10-yard line.
Ted Ginn thinking to himself, this was a little easier against Illinois. There's a lot of fast guys coming after you on special teams in the NFL.
Holding, offense number 20. The 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down, Miami. Timeout.
8:13 to play in the third quarter. And the Dolphins back on offense when we come back. Best starting field position of the day for Cam Cameron and the Miami Dolphins. Around the league, they'll say this is a well-deserved head coaching shot for Cam Cameron, who enjoyed a great deal of success as the coordinator, offensive coordinator in San Diego. In fact, he goes all the way back to quarterback at Indiana and also played for the Hoosiers.
He's from Terre Haute. He actually was on the team for head coach Bobby Knight, who really was instrumental in helping Cam get started in coaching. Bobby Knight was great friends with Bo Schembechler at the University of Michigan. He called Bo and said, I got this kid that wants to coach. Would you hire him as a graduate assistant? Schembechler did. Cam stayed there 10 years, and away he went.
Another quick pass, and that one's incomplete.
And Chris Chambers made a decision. That ball was too far out in front of me, and there was a guy coming fast, and no thank you. Oh, the ball gets deflected. That's it. Philip Daniels ends up getting a hand on it.
So it's now 3rd and 6. Chambers this time out to the left along with Marty Booker. Outside, and that's complete for a first down. Chris Chambers on the receiving end.
Well, the Redskins come with a 5-man rush, and right off the bat, you see the big cushion. Trent Green spots it right off the bat. He sees Carlos Rogers giving Chambers way too much room. Look how quickly he switches his head to the left. He sees where he's got a lot of room, and there's no way that Rogers can go ahead and close. Their #1 draft choice of a year ago, Carlos Rogers.
So now from the 26, first down Miami. Give us to Brown. Brown straight up the middle, spinning to the 22. Cornelius Griffin on the stop, and it'll be 2nd and 6.
And those are 4 really hard-fought yards for Ronnie Brown. Making people miss. Play wasn't really that well blocked, but it doesn't look like much. But 2nd and 6, a very navigable down for an offense.
Ronnie Brown, one of those guys who was telling us, what's the difference now that Cam Cameron's the head coach? He says, for one thing, the coach is on our side of the field all day.
Nick Saban never did anything with the offense when he was the head coach.
Green, short flip to Brown. inside the 10 to about the 6, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And I just want to say before that sounds like an indictment of Nick Saban, Cam Cameron will have nothing to do with the defense either while he's the head coach.
That's Dom Capers' territory.
Yep, and Miami getting right to the line of scrimmage. They want to keep the Redskin defense from being able to substitute.
1st and goal from the 7. Brown tries the left side, nowhere to go.
Where yards for Ronnie Brown are really, really tough to find today. They have bottled him up. London Fletcher, Carlos Rogers, the two of them just sandwich him. That was a good job by Rogers of having contained. Brown tried to get outside, had nowhere to go. He turned him back inside, and Rogers and Fletcher cleaned up.
They lose 1 on the play. 2nd and goal from the 8. Gonna give it to Brown up the middle. Inside the 5 this time, but not much inside the 5. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Rushing yardage for Cam Cameron is, and again, we talked early in the telecast about the offensive line and how they're trying to find their way. 5 guys starting in different positions, and started for the Dolphins a year ago. A complete revamping.
Sean Springs onto the field in the Redskins secondary. Outside, complete, and reaching for the end zone and not getting there is Marty Booker.
And here's Cam Cameron in exactly the same place, exactly the same spot on the field that he was in before.
And he isn't going to be quite so cavalier about it this time.
He sends his field goal team onto the field. And again, remember what he told us. He calls a game strictly by feel. If he felt that they could get in there for a touchdown, I have a feeling he'd go for it.
And we're all feeling and feel, and by feel, this is Jay Feely to kick the field goal from 20 yards out. What a good feeling. Game tied.
I am out of this.
3:37 to play. 3rd quarter. Miami and Washington tied at 10. We're knotted up at 10. 3:37 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Jay Feely set to kick it away. At the other end of the field, number 31, Rock Cartwright, and number 83, James Thrash. Rock Cartwright returned a kick 100 yards for a touchdown a season ago against the Dallas Cowboys. This is Cartwright, and he will not run it out of the end zone. So the Redskins will start from their own 20-yard line on the touchback. Gives us a moment to tell you it's not just a new Survivor, it's TV history in the most mysterious land on earth. Survivor China, the event, begins Thursday, September the 20th, here on CBS. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, and our ace CBS Sports crew at FedEx Field, home of the Washington Redskins.
Along with just a few Redskins fans.
A few.
90,000 plus.
Clinton Portis in the backfield behind Jason Campbell, and we got movement up front. This looks like it'll go against the Redskins.
Might be the rookie.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Nothing you can do except say sorry, guys. I'll try to do better.
And everybody else in the huddle says you're darn right you will.
Well, let me tell you, everybody else in that huddle has made a mistake.
1st and 15 now. Campbell dancing in the back, finds some time, and look at that pull into the pass by Mike Sellers. And Sellers still on his feet before he's finally brought down at the 20.
Back to Joe Gibbs saying he's a man. He had Jason Taylor and a couple other Dolphins on his back. Now look at this. Pete Kendall is actually right on top of his quarterback. Will Allen, take a look. Look at this. Boy, finally the big hit was put by Zach Thomas. Zach comes in and cleans up and actually knocks the ball out of bounds.
2nd and 11 for the Redskins. Quick pass to Santana Moss up to about the 23-yard line. It's been an interesting day for the young quarterback who is now the Redskins starter.
Well, it's his first full year of actually being the man. He started off the game with a really ill-advised pass right down the middle, but he came back with a couple of nice long passes, both to Antoine Randall L. that set up the Redskins touchdown. And I take a look at Jason Campbell, and I just see a guy that just is oozing talent.
Clinton Portis in the backfield on 37. Campbell on the run. And he's going to take off the first down and make it, and out of bounds.
That's the first time today that we've had a chance to watch Jason outside the pocket. But for a guy that's 6'5", as you can see, you don't have to worry about him on the move. Jason Taylor doesn't get outrun by very many quarterbacks, but Jason Taylor is left on the ground as Campbell gets away from him.
Dan, you asked him what he needed to work on in the offseason. First thing he said was footwork.
Footwork. Now he was talking about his dropbacks. Wants to take shorter, choppier steps. And he says he's done a good job of doing that. He's really changed his dropback from his days at Auburn.
This is Betts. And Betts bowling his way across the 40 to the 42-yard line to New York. The NFL Today and James Brown. JB.
Greg and Dan, as you both know, no longer is it with us spaghetti in Buffalo. It's the rookie, Marshawn Lynch. Take a look at this impressive, hard-charging, 23-yard bull run for his first NFL score. Buffalo on top, 14-6. Back to Greg Gumbel and Dan Dierdorf.
All right, JB, how about those Buffalo Bills starting strong at home?
And I'm going to tell you, that will not be the last time that we get interrupted by James Brown to show us Marshawn Lynch running for a touchdown.
This is Betts. And Betts right at that first down marker.
This was at the very end of that. Look at Clinton Portis come in and deliver a blow on Matt Roth. That's a good job by Portis of coming in, trying to protect his quarterback, throw a block for him downfield. Really close to being a helmet-to-helmet shot on Roth. Luckily, Roth saw him at just the last minute. Portis has to be careful on a shot like that of, actually throwing himself up there and kind of leading with his head.
Meanwhile, the measurement in favor of the Redskins, and it's first down at their own 45.
But you love the effort. You love the effort by a marquee player getting downfield, trying to help out his QB.
Final 55 seconds of the third quarter. This time hitting the backfield. Channing Crowder, the first to hit him. Once again, JB in New York.
Hey, Greg, tell Dan there could be a few of these highlights coming his way as well. Tom Brady of the Patriots, play action up top for who else? Randy Moss, 6 catches, 157 yards on the afternoon so far, and 1 touch. New England by 14 late in the third. Greg Gumbel, Dan Dierdorf.
James Brown, thank you. I think Randy may have just found a home in Foxborough.
Well, we'll see how long it lasts. Who knows? But Randy Moss can still run. He appeared to be beyond everyone else in the secondary.
Looks like this will be the last play of the quarter. This pass is complete. Santana Moss to the 40-yard line of the Miami Dolphins as the third quarter comes to a close. That's the end of the third. Our score is tied at 10. We're back to Washington after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back, everyone. Start of the fourth quarter. There is a man instrumental to some Redskins success this year.
That's Al Saunders. He's calling the plays, and he is another one of the illustrious members of Joe Gibbs' coaching staff. Highly paid, highly experienced, and they're hoping this kid can deliver some results.
On first down, the fake to Portis. A lot of time for Campbell, who throws down the far sideline, and it is intercepted. Travis Daniels coming back with it to the 20 and out of bounds. And a little bit of a scuffle on the far side of the field. Jason Taylor involved with it. And Chris Samuels, I think, involved as well. Let's see who gets the penalties. Boy, nice interception, incidentally, by Travis Daniels.
Well, Jason Campbell was just trying to see one-on-one coverage and hoping that his guy could be the guy to win the one-on-one battle. He didn't.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 99 of the defense. The penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down, Miami.
So it's Jason Taylor who gets hit with the penalty. Meanwhile, this is Jason Campbell's second interception of the day.
Take a look at it. He sees Santana Moss break across the middle of the field, so he realizes he's got one-on-one with Brandon Lloyd. But the reality was Lloyd just didn't fight for the ball as much as Travis Daniels. Let's see if we can see what happens. Everything we see there appears to be just verbal.
It's a little bit more to it than that.
I don't know what happened prior.
But it's first down for Miami at their own 11. This is Jesse Chapman. Well, if you're looking for a change in approach, the Miami defense, 8 interceptions all last season and 2 today.
You think they might have talked about it a little bit during the offseason? Both of these teams unhappy with the number of interceptions. The Redskins had only 6. There's Dom Capers there, the second one in, sitting next to Mike Mularkey. He's the defensive coordinator, former head coach of the Panthers and the Texans.
Green throwing, and that's incomplete. Tipped at the line, perhaps?
Well, we're being told now that there was no blow thrown anywhere down there, that it's taunting was the call against Jason Taylor. And again, the league has really, I think, done a good job of trying to stop incendiary, positions the players are taking by stopping guys from trying to goad another guy into taking a swing. Taunting is a 15-yard penalty, and Taylor got hit with it.
3rd and 7. Green underthrows the far side, and the penalty marker is down.
You can make an argument that that wasn't even a catchable ball. It bounced on its way out there.
Illegal contact. Defense. Number 27. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Well, illegal contact is illegal contact. If it's beyond 5 yards, which it is, that's no question about that.
Illegal contact, a little pushing, a little grabbing.
Yeah, the fact that the ball one-hops on the way out there has nothing to do with that. That's a penalty all the way against Fred Smoot.
So from the 18-yard line, the Dolphins get a fresh set of downs. 14:04 to play here in the fourth quarter. Play fake. Green. Short chop. Chapman. Close to the 30-yard line. And close to another first down.
There's a first down play. Coaches love. Nice positive yardage.
Jesse Chapman, an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Washington, spent 3 years with San Diego, and that's where Cam Cameron got to know his abilities. Chapman and Mawia in the backfield. Booker in motion to the near side. Here's Chapman. Across the 30 to the 32.
Well, this is where the offensive line really has to gel in a hurry. You've got a rookie starting at the center position. You've got guys playing in new spots. They've only had this training camp to work on it. But this is where you can really build a little team unity, a little cohesiveness. Put together a solid drive, move the chains a couple times, let your defense get a blow.
2nd and 7. Green for the screen, and Chapman upended by number 24, Sean Springs.
Well, Sean Springs beats the would-be blocker, and he makes the tackle as well on Chapman, and Chapman's hurt.
Timeout on the field. Clock is stopped with 12 minutes, 16 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. They will look to Jesse Chapman, and we'll take a timeout.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Jesse Chapman being looked at on the far side, although he did walk off the field under his own power. Ronnie Brown in the backfield now. 3rd and 7 for the Dolphins. Trent Green throws in and out of the hands of David Martin. He had enough for the first down.
Well, 10 guys did it all really well, and one guy didn't. Oh. That's David Martin. Not exactly a big receiving threat in his career in Green Bay. He only had 87 catches in 6 years. And wow, that ball just ate him up.
And by our count, that's 5 dropped passes by Miami receivers today. Antoine Randall back at his own 25. And a kick from Brandon Field. Good kick. Inside is 20. Randall 25. Outside. 30. To the 35.
Oh, he'd like to have that last cut over again. That was close.
11:43 to play in the 4th quarter. 48-yard kick and a nifty 16-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. Sprint, the official telecommunications service sponsor of the NFL. This is the NFL at sprint speed. And by FedEx. Go air, go ground, go football.
11:43 to play, 4th quarter. Miami 10, Washington 10. The Redskins at their own 35. First down. This is Porter. Spins out of one tackler, tripped up just as he crossed the 35 by Michael Weehan. Eternal Life has its dark side. Don't miss the thrilling new series from the producer of The Matrix. Moonlight premieres Friday, September the 28th, here on CBS, once again America's most watched network.
I like the way Clinton Portis has been running so far today. He admits he's got that chip back on his shoulder. He said, you know, last year I might have been a little complacent. He had the injury problems, of course, but he said, I relaxed a little bit. That'll never happen again.
Portis again. Left side. Tripped up as he crossed the 40 to the 42. To JB in New York. James.
Hey, Greg and Dan, how nice an asset to have this guy coming out of the backfield. Adrian Peterson, the outstanding running back from Oklahoma. Swing pass. He takes it the rest of the way. 60 yards to pay dirt. And the Vikings all on top of the Falcons by 14. with it halfway through the fourth quarter. Back to Greg and Dan.
Looked too easy, JB. I think he flipped that ball in the air just for kicks.
Well, I said it about Marshawn Lynch, and I'll say it about Peterson. That's not the last time we'll be watching their highlights either. A lot of young talent.
Campbell on the move. Throw is complete. And out of bounds at midfield is Antoine Randall.
It has to be bittersweet for Cam Cameron, coaching the Dolphins, watching Antoine Randall, his guy from Indiana. Cameron was his head coach when Antoine Randall was terrorizing college football. What a complete all-around ball player this guy has become. It has been a joy to watch his improvement. Keep in mind, when this guy graduated from Indiana, he was 5th all-time in total yardage, Division 1A. 5th. That's some achievement.
The fake to Liddell Betts. Going to the far side and going up and getting it is Brandon Lloyd for his first reception of the day.
Jason Campbell could work on one thing. He needs to bring his ball down a little bit. Sometimes his intermediate passes tend to sail a little bit.
Miami had 12 men on the field, and that play still couldn't stop it.
No. But Lloyd did a good job of going up and getting that, but it didn't have to be that hard.
Dan, are you saying that because Jason is 6'5", he thinks everybody else is 6'5"?
I don't think he's certainly not doing it on purpose, but it's floating on him a little bit. Now, a lot of times that's a guy that has a cannon for an arm. But that ball could have been and should have been a couple feet lower.
So after the penalty, it's 1st and 5. First man through is Sellers. And Sellers bulls his way close to a first down.
I'm sure Zach Thomas right there is thinking, let's not make a habit of giving the ball to this guy. I'd rather chase Clinton Portis around than have to strap that guy on.
Zach, 11 straight years, 100-plus tackles in the season.
Well, you know, defensive guys are supposed to be the big bad meanies. Zach Thomas, 5'11", 228. Mike Sellers, 6'3", 284.
Second and very short yardage. They're going to call on Betts. He gets first down yardage and more inside the 30 to the 28.
And that's, you know, count on your offensive line. Let Samuels and Kendall and Robach and Thomas and the rookie Hire do it. And that's what they do right there. Nice job on the left side. Robach and Kendall started off in a double team. Kendall came off to pick up the linebacker. Samuels sealed to the outside. Thomas pinned the other side, and that was easy.
New set of downs for the Redskins. This is Betts trying the right side. And comes up short of the 25-yard line. Channing Crowder again in on the stop for the Dolphins.
Well, it's always fun to watch our guy, Zach Thomas. Let's see him here. Well, he took on the center, Casey Robach. Robach got into him. Zach was a little high. Zach came up and complained that he was held. But Zach knew he was had when he got caught there standing up a little too straight. If you don't like to watch Zach Thomas play football, you just don't like the game.
A tackling machine. 2nd and 7. And around. Randall L. And down back at the 30-yard line. Courtesy of Zach Thomas.
You know, that is not an indecisive linebacker when he heads upfield like that. You'll see some defensive guys wait for the guy to come to you. No, I don't think so. Zach Thomas is going to go upfield and meet him head to head. Fought off the blocker. That was just superior. And this is why you run all those sprints on both sides of the ball. Getting to this point in the game, you're tired, but you got to play through it.
Campbell looking at a 3rd and 10. On the draw. straight up the middle. Portis. And he is just short of a first down. And now decision time for Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, Joe's going to want to see the exact spot of the ball so he can figure out exactly how long of a field goal this is going to be.
And it looks like he's going to go for it. Chris Cooley goes out, the tight end. Liddell Betts is out there.
Well,
4th and 2. Betts and Mike Sellers in the backfield.
That's what they were looking for.
Gene Steratore wants to talk to his fellow officials to find out who moved first. Joe Gibbs said they did.
This would only be about a 38-yard field goal. You wonder if that was the Redskins' intent all along to draw them off sides. You're only allowed. You can't have two guys in motion at the same time.
False start.
Yeah.
Offense, number 87. Abrupt movement.
Joe Gibbs is not at all pleased.
It is a 5-yard penalty, and it is 4th down.
And I believe the call is against Chris Cooley.
But watch what happens with the Redskins. There goes Yoder, but there goes the second guy, Mike Sellers. You can't have two guys in motion at the same time. So that's a doomed play. You know, if you're going to try to get them off sides.
So second-year man Sean Sweezum will come out and attempt a 44-yard field goal. Sweezum from 44 yards looks good, is good. And the Redskins lead it 13-10. Is that going to salve Joe Gibbs' feelings? You don't often see Joe that angry, do you? 13-10 Washington. 5.5 minutes to play in regulation here at FedEx Field. The Redskins have grabbed a 13-10 lead and are about to kick it away to Jesse Chapman and Ted Ginn Jr. This is the rookie in the end zone and will not run it out. And when we come back, the Dolphins will have the ball at their own 20-yard line, down 3. One of the oldest stories circulating around the NFL now is how many times there have been different people at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins since Dan Marino called it quits. But this is the reason why Trent Green has been brought aboard for situations just like this one. Green with time, out into the flat. That one is complete. And Chapman did a nice job of dodging the first tackle. Carlos Rogers.
For a big man, and Jesse Chapman is a big guy as he heads to the sidelines. You're right. He did a good job of elevating and getting over Rogers.
He limps off of the field, a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Ronnie Brown replaces him. Chambers to the near side, Booker to the far side. Play fake. Green steps up, throws complete across the 30 to the 32 is Ronnie Brown and a first down.
Oh, good job by Ronnie Brown after the catch of making people miss. And again, converting a checkoff into a chain mover. Trent Green does a nice job of avoiding the rush. But right here, Ronnie could have been tackled. He gets away from Marcus Washington and picks up 5 more yards.
Clock continues to move. 4:15 to play in regulation. Both teams with all their timeouts remaining. Green gonna throw for Chambers, and he's got it across midfield and into Washington territory, out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Well, you can see Carlos Rogers getting some feel-good love from the sideline, saying, hang in there, kid. But Trent Green right away sees the one-on-one. There's no Redskins safety in sight, And Chris Chambers this time holds onto the football. Again, though, Trent Green identified single coverage and went to it.
28-yard pickup. First down, Miami at the Washington 40. The give is to Ronnie Brown. Brown to the 30, to the 28-yard line, and another Miami first down.
And right now they're playing a guessing game with the two safeties of the Redskins. That time the Redskins safeties were deep and they run the football. You got 7 in the box, the safeties are out of the run support, so run it. When they're up close to the line, pass it. That's exactly what the Dolphins have done the last couple of plays.
From the Washington 28. Blitz. Green going to throw it and overthrows everybody. And a penalty marker down. Chris Chambers being covered again by Carlos Rogers. Redskins are saying the ball was uncatchable.
Pass interference. Defense, number 22. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
It's been a rough 2 minutes for Carlos Rogers.
Yes, it has. It was a blitz. Single coverage again. Rogers, well, you can see right there. Rogers is pulling down Chris Chambers' left arm. I'm sorry, you can't do it. He was pulling that arm down, keeping him from bringing it up. That is interference.
First and goal from the 8 for the Miami Dolphins. Brown to about the 7. And a penalty marker again.
Kedrick Golston was the Redskins guy across the ball.
Holding on Rex Hadnot, the right guard.
I'll give Golston credit. I think he forced the issue.
That will back the Dolphins up to the 18-yard line where they will repeat first and goal. Green to throw. Throws it away. Screen pass to this side. Busted up by the Washington defense.
They're talking about whether to throw the flag for intentional grounding. And there it goes. There it goes. Trent Green was not out of the pocket.
And that'll be loss of down. Craig Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf at FedEx Field in Washington. On a first and goal from the 18, Trent Green has been called for intentional grounding on this play.
Watch where he sets up and where he sits. He's got to be outside of the pocket. He actually is directly behind where he took the snap. You cannot do that. He had no one in the vicinity. The two officials, the side judge came in to talk to the referee. They talked about it, determined it. Out comes the flag.
This has been a back-and-forth game with 4 lead changes. And the only touchdown of this game scored by Miami on the last play of the first half. Green. Short pass over the middle, complete. And Brown takes it inside the 25 to the 23.
Well, when a field goal is so critical to tying the game, you know, when you've got a team that's in a goal-to-goal situation that keeps backing up to the point where they're running the risk of not even being able to attempt a field goal. And keep in mind that's 3rd and goal, and they were headed to midfield.
First-year head coach Cam Cameron.
It would be about a 40-yarder if they don't advance it any more than this.
They're going to run it up the middle. Ronnie Brown inside the 20 to the 18 to set up the field goal.
It looks more like a rugby scrum.
And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play at FedEx Field. When we come back, Washington with a 3-point lead. Miami looking to pull even. A look at Jay Feely's fourth quarter numbers. He's made one from 20 in the third quarter. He's 23 of 25 the last 2 seasons, between 30 and 39 yards. He will put this one up from 36 yards out. This for the tie. And it's good. 1:55 to play, and once again, the Dolphins and the Redskins are even, this time at 13.
Well, what Joe Gibbs is thinking about right now, it's going to start with a kickoff return by Antoine Randall. He's envisioning him running it out to about the 40, maybe more. And then we'll see what Jason Campbell can do with his opportunity to win himself a football game inside the final couple minutes.
Washington led this game at 1.3-0, and then on the last play of the first half, Justin Peele caught the touchdown pass to put the Dolphins up 7-3. Clinton Portis put Washington up 10-7. A field goal by Feely tied it, and then Swisham from 44 yards out made it 13-10. Feely just tied it again at 13 apiece. Welcome to those of you just joining us here at FedEx Field. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf. We are tied at 13. Washington and Miami with 1:55 to play in regulation. Feely set to kick it away. And deep for the Redskins, 83, James Thrash, and 31, Rock Cartwright. We mentioned it earlier. Cartwright had a 100-yard return last season against the Cowboys. This is Cartwright from the 5. And out close to the 30-yard line. And here comes the Washington offense led by Jason Campbell. The third-year quarterback out of Auburn has thrown 2 interceptions today, but has also thrown some very good passes.
Yeah, both quarterbacks today have suffered from some dropped passes by some of their frontline receivers. Campbell and Green both, but Jason Campbell particularly has really aired it out a couple times. One in particular to Antoine Randall that led to their touchdown.
Liddell Betts in the backfield for Washington. Both teams, 3 timeouts remaining. Santana Moss in motion, and Campbell fakes the pass, gives to Betts, and Betts out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. There's Sean Sweezum.
Like to get the ball down to the 33. That would be a 50 or 51-yarder.
He has a career long of 52 at St. Louis last year. This is Betts. And Betts hit and dropped to the backfield by Joey Porter.
Well, Joey Porter just paid some dividends. Keep in mind that 52-yarder, by the way, at St. Louis is in a dome. Joey Porter, nice job fighting off the block of Chris Cooley, the tight end, working his way upfield. Some guys are just natural leaders, and Joey Porter is one of them.
Washington
can't help himself.
Washington has just burned their first time out. This has been an interesting game from a number of standpoints. And we go all the way back to the end of the first half with 4 seconds on the clock. From the 2-yard line, Cam Cameron could have kicked a game-tying field goal and gone in tied at halftime. He chose to run a play, and it was a Trent Green touchdown pass.
And the ball was not at the 2-inch line either. It was a really gutsy call, and I don't think many guys would have done it. I think most coaches would have been happy to trot into halftime 3-3, but Cam took a risk. That risk has paid off. That's why, at least to this point, it's a tie game.
Here's a big 3rd and 5 for Campbell and the Redskins. Campbell, this side, incomplete. Randall L. couldn't quite hold on, thrown behind him.
Well, thrown high, hard, and way behind him. He got what he wanted. Randall L. was open. And Jason Campbell, again, this ball just gets away from him a little bit. Almost, I mean almost a spectacular play by Antoine Randall L. Look how close he came to pulling that errant pass in. Boy, you can't try any harder than that.
The rookie, Ted Ginn Jr., back for the punt return. From the 15. Out across the 20 to the 22-yard line with 1 minute on the clock, and now the veteran, Trent Green, gets his shot.
And all 3 of their timeouts at their disposal. So that 1 minute gets considerably longer when you've got 3 timeouts.
Trent Green on the day, 23 out of 34 for 215 yards and a touchdown. Greg Gumbel and Dan Deerdorf welcoming you to FedEx Field, where the Redskins and the Dolphins are tied at 13, 1 minute remaining. And the Miami Dolphins with the ball at their own 22-yard line and have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Play fake to Brown. Green tosses to Brown over the middle, and he's out to the 25-yard line.
Now Washington will let them have all those they want. And that has been the story for a lot of the day for the Miami offense. Trent Green having to check down to something really short. Joe Gibbs can live with a 3-yarder.
And the Dolphins acting as if they have all day. From the shotgun, Green overthrows Justin Peel. That'll stop the clock with 28 seconds.
And you could tell by their casualness at the line of scrimmage right there that they're going to be content to go to overtime.
Target for Jay Feely would be the 37-yard line.
That's a fur piece away.
Here at FedEx Field, 28 seconds on the clock. Trent Green with all kinds of time and then throws to the sideline, intercepted and dropped. Oh, Fred Smoot had it. And you know he was thinking touchdown.
He didn't have to think touchdown. He just had to think hold on to the ball. What an ill-advised throw from Trent Green right into the breadbasket of Fred Smoot, who instead of catching it with his hands, lets it bounce off his chest. And again, when you look at Fred Smoot trying to catch that ball, it's the old adage, if he could have caught, he'd have been a receiver.
Randall L. deep for the kick. Little end over end, bounces at the 40, takes a Miami bounce.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
And out of bounds inside the 30-yard line with 12 seconds to play.
Well, not often you get to make a mistake that big this late in the game and not pay for it. Two mistakes, one by Trent Green and one by Fred Smoot.
We have a penalty flag down. And the officials talking it over on Cam Cameron's side of the field.
Well, Cam Cameron saw his punter.
Offside. Defense. Number 21. The penalty is declined. First down, Washington.
Cam Cameron was saying, I don't want to kick it over again. Let's go back to that pass.
Here it is again. Going to the sideline, got single coverage, but Fred Smoot is just all over it, jumps right in front of Marty Booker, and man, it'll be a while before he forgets that.
If you are wondering whether Jason Campbell is capable of the long ball, He has a sturdy right arm, to say the least.
I'm not sure that Washington has a receiver that can run far enough that Campbell can't get him the ball. And that includes Santana Ball.
Campbell steps up, now on the run. Heading for the sideline, gets out of bounds, and still time on the clock, 4 seconds. $13-yard gain and a first down in time for one more play.
And now you just try to see if you can get a defensive penalty. You certainly don't want to throw an interception and turn your offensive team into a defensive team and having to make an open field tackle.
Yeah.
3 receivers to the near side of the field for Washington. 2-man rush. Campbell steps up and heaves it all the way down to the end zone, and that is caught and pushed out of bounds at the 2.
But the clock's over. The clock's expired.
Antoine Randall L. caught that one and couldn't quite make it to the end zone.
Oh, for want of a couple seconds, if you're the Redskins.
Pass is
That's Jason Taylor down there.
Fumbled backward and out of bounds. Time did expire in the fourth quarter.
Jason Taylor batted it right to Antoine Randall L. They converged on him.
And then Jason Taylor was the guy that kept him from getting into the end zone. Oh.
You know, forget the fact that you're a first-year coach. Head coaches don't need that kind of aggravation.
Well, that would have been some ending to a football game.
So we go to overtime. Take another look. And by the way, Jason Campbell can throw the football.
He releases that ball at about the 36 or 37-yard line all the way into the end zone, all the way to the goal line. Jason Taylor's thinking to himself, well, next time I'm just going to catch her.
Did it look to you like Antoine Randall L. had designs on a forward lateral?
Antoine Randall L. couldn't believe his good fortune that the ball all of a sudden comes right to him.
Randall L. a career high 162 yards receiving. And it's all smiles at midfield.
Gentlemen, in overtime, fourth quarter timing will be in effect. The fourth quarter timing rules, each team will have 2 team timeouts. Again, kickoff insignia is the head. The NFL shield is the tail. Visiting captain is called a head. It is a tails. Washington's elected to receive. We kick this direction. Washington has elected to receive.
Washington gets the football first. When we come back to FedEx Field, Washington and Miami tied at 13. First guy that scores loses. Welcome to overtime at FedEx Field. Miami and Washington tied at 13, and it has been an interesting day to say the least. On fourth down at the end of the first half, Justin Peele on the receiving end of a touchdown pass. The Redskins came right back. Quentin Cordes 19 yards to regain the lead. And then on the field goal by Sweeja, 13-10 lead. Feely answered with a 36-yarder to tie it at 13-13. It could have ended here. Fred Smoot had the interception in open field in front of him and dropped the field goal. And on the last play, Jason Campbell puts it up. Jason Taylor knocks it right into the hands of Antoine Randall L. And he was pushed out of bounds at the 2. Other than that, not much happening here today, Dan.
No, not a lot. We've got a young coach there in Cam Cameron, his first game as a head coach in the National Football League against, I guess you could call a grizzled old Hall of Fame veteran on the other side in Joe Gibbs.
Rock Cartwright and James Thrash are deep. This is Cartwright, and he lets it bounce, and he'll stay in the end zone, and the Redskins will put it in play from the 20-yard line. And once again, the third-year quarterback, Jason Campbell.
He had 7 starts last year. Keep in mind, he picked up a whole lot of yardage there because that last play is actually a completed pass to Antoine Randall L. So Jason Campbell, 7 starts last year. This was his year where he got to spend the entire offseason, all the mini camps and OTAs, knowing that he's the guy. This was his job. It is his job. And now it's his moment to shine if he can.
Clinton Portis in the backfield. And they'll start with Portis on the ground. Right side, 5 yards, out of bounds with about a 6 or 7 yard pickup.
One thing about Al Saunders calling these plays now for the Redskins, he knows you don't have to win this with one play. You can win this thing with 8 or 9 runs by Clinton Portis and Liddell Betts.
I know there's a lot of crying about how each team should touch the football at least once in overtime, but I have to tell you, I like this, Dan, because it gives credit to the defense when the defense works.
You know, you could argue it either way, the fairness issue about the other team not getting a chance, but it is the way it is. Everybody knows it. Everybody lives with it.
Portis again. Portis out to the 40-yard line and a first down. Now, all day long, Portis and Liddell Betts have been sharing the running chores. You can't say either one is particularly tired.
And we ought to tell you that those of you that weren't with us in the beginning, that John Jansen, the right tackle for the Redskins, dislocated his ankle in the first half, and he's been replaced by rookie Stefan Heyer, who's had to play the ball game since then. So a shakeup on the offensive line for the Skins, but Heyer's played well.
Liddell Betts now in the backfield for Washington. He gets the handoff and hit in the backfield and brought down by number 25, Will Allen.
And you do a lot of work. You run a lot of gassers, a lot of sprints. You work on your conditioning. But I'm here to tell you, on opening day, to have to go into overtime, there's some scorched lungs down there on that field. There are some guys sucking big wind right now and not finding nearly as much oxygen in there as they would like.
Campbell the throw. Right side, complete to Sellers out of the backfield. And Sellers, tough to bring down, but Joey Porter finally gets it done.
No, but you need more than a 1 or a 2 yard pass. I know that if I'm Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator from Miami, I'm a little concerned about a total lack of pass rush on that last play. There wasn't a Dolphin defensive lineman that got off the line of scrimmage. It is hard to rush the passer when you are exhausted.
On 3rd and 7, Washington has a second tight end. Todd Yoder on the field, and now Campbell calls a timeout. Burns 1 of 2 available to him. 12:25 to play in this first overtime session.
Taken by the Redskins. Wow, that's kind of costly in the sense that the Miami defense was tired, and you just gave them a 2.5 minute breather that they can use to rush the quarterback here. They didn't get off the line of scrimmage on the previous play. Now, if you're not in a position to run the play, you're not. But that timeout, let me tell you, was much appreciated by the guys in Oakland.
And leaves the Redskins with 1 timeout remaining in this overtime session.
That was costly. Unless, of course, they throw a touchdown pass on this play.
3rd and 7. Campbell needs midfield for a first down. Here comes the bunch, and it's a quick pass, first down, and then some. Chris Cooley into Miami territory, first down, Washington.
And a good high percentage pattern. Campbell doesn't have to take a chance. He throws right over the top of the blitzer. Will Allen coming on the corner blitz, looped inside. And the Redskins, good offensive efficiency, recognizing the blitz, adjusting your routes and converting.
Chris Cooley's first catch of the day is a big one. First down at the Miami 47. This is Liddell Betts, left side, breaking through, still on his feet, inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, and that's very close to another first down.
And that might be the hardest that Chris Samuels got hit all day. The left tackle, number 60, he's going to go downfield, try to find somebody. Guess what? Here comes my own guy, and Betts levels him. Now that's when you're running hard.
Washington had just 41 rushing yards in the first half. They've had 135 since. First down at the 37. Betts tries to cut it back, and nothing there. Vonnie Holiday in on the stop.
Good look there, Keith Traylor, and these guys are digging deep right now.
Sean Sweezum has a 52-yarder for his career long.
They need another 4 or 5 yards just to get into that range.
Quentin Portis with a blocker out in front, turns the corner, out of bounds, close to the 30. Looks like the ball will be spotted at about the 31 or the 32, make it the 32-yard line.
Well, 32-yard line would be close to a 50-yarder. I'm sure Joe Gibbs would like to be a whole lot closer.
Third and 4. Portis in the backfield. Portis with the football. Big run up the middle inside the 25 to the 21.
That's where in the huddle, Jason Campbell says to his offensive lineman, win me a ball game. And look at the blocking that they turn out up front. Look at the whole Randy Thomas and Robach, Pete Kendall, Chris Samuels, and Stephon Heyer. Win me a ball game. That's how you do it.
And right now, the Redskins want to use their final timeout here in this overtime period. And that'll stop the clock with 9:17 showing.
That is a great feeling to be able to do that. Now, I don't know about you, Greg, but I hardly consider their place on the field here to be chip shot territory. I would keep advancing the rock.
Sean Sweezum in his second season out of Bowling Green. 6 foot 197, and he's come onto the field right now.
Well, everybody's different. I'd keep running the football.
And let's see if Cam Cameron wants a timeout.
This is a 40-yarder.
Sean Sweezum from 40 yards out for the win. And a timeout. Miami calls timeout. Let him think about it for another minute or so.
What would you do, Greg? You're the coach now.
You're talking about burning another timeout?
No, I'm talking about whether or not, if you're the Redskins, you keep trying to pound the football down there and get yourself closer. I would.
Well, you could do that, but I think Joe Gibbs has seen a couple of turnovers here today that he didn't like and doesn't like the idea of that. And obviously, he believes his kicker can win the game right here.
I understand that. Certainly that's what he's saying. If I was a coach, I would feel a whole lot better if this was a 25-yard field goal instead of a 40-yard field goal.
You know what, Dan? Regardless of what we think, Joe Gibbs is going to kick it from 40. Now officially 39, just inside the marker. Here we go. Looks good.
Well, that's why Joe Gibbs is in the Hall of Fame, I guess. No doubt about that kick. That was precisely down the middle.
Sean Sweezum with field goals of 31-44 and the game winner 39 yards. And the Washington Redskins open with a victory here at home. What a ball game.
It certainly was.
That is the look of victory.
Well, they say home field advantage is worth a couple points, and that's certainly what it was worth today for the Redskins. Jason Campbell gets his first win of the 07 season, and congratulations to Washington.
16-13 Redskins, our final. Coming up next, the U.S. Open Men's Championship between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. The NFL Today coming up next for Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel. So long from FedEx Field.